So I want to chat for a moment here before we get started. It's 2 minutes before the open on Tuesday. There's a large element of randomness in the markets, and humans have a tendency to attribute their success to their skill and their failures to luck, even though quite often the opposite is true. You're successful simply because you got lucky, and you failed even though you did everything right. Okay. We're talking about this trade here, the third trade yesterday, which has an absolutely astonishing entry short here at the peak of that move. A trade I would never take as a human. The machine is seeing the failure, automatically getting short, and then exiting down here. Now, what brought up the luck versus skill discussion is that entry is clearly skill. All right. I built the system sees it, and we get this amazing entry. The exit feels somewhat lucky to me because you can see it goes a bit more and then that's it, right? It doesn't you get just enough of that little swing to consider yourself you did pretty well. It's not it's not, in this case, it's actually not completely luck, because I did a formal analysis of the moves that the NASDAQ makes. So part of the machine learning training is that you have to know, here, the market's opening up here, you have to know how far the market moves off each bar in order to help the machine understand, kind of what happened as you train it. Part of that analysis was, well, how did not only did it go 30 ticks, but how far did it go completely? And in fact, I chose for the NASDAQ 30 ticks because that analysis showed that the average was 36. So I picked 30. That's a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and that's what I'm using. Okay. So anyway, just you have to keep that in mind, that you may have been successful in the market that day. You may have been profitable completely by luck. You may have gotten lucky. Don't forget, don't always attribute your success to skill, and don't always attribute your failure to luck. And here we are at the end of the session. My result for the day is plus $10, so scratching. We saw live this long signal. You can see that we actually do end up going up. So there's, we're seeing the turn, but the timing's a little bit off there, and the market's a little more volatile than we can handle with our trail management. I missed this fall, and then this signal right here is the one that's just incredibly sweet. The system places an order and then doesn't get filled and then cancels it. And so I actually had people, I had stepped away by this time. At 7:15 is when I went into unattended mode. So that's right here. Actually I had members emailing me, did you see that? And so we're going to actually see this a couple more times today, where the market's moving fast enough that the type of order that we're using to enter is not sufficient. So here's one case. There's just a beautiful fall here, and these 274s down here are in the too aggressive to go after category. It's a 2, so those are shorts, but you can kind of see why they're really late. Those are small pullbacks, is what they are, aggressive pullbacks. Here's another case right here. You can see the red arrow right there. You get touched, but you don't get filled, and so you end up not getting in there. 274 again, too. All of these signals I have as too aggressive. 74, 37, 74, 187. These are all in the aggressive category. So they're takeable trades. The system is seeing them. You have to be, whoops, sorry about that. You have to be willing to go after them. And certainly here at my, oh shoot, I lost all the codes by doing that, darn it. All right, so unfortunately I did lose all the codes by accidentally pressing reload. So I don't have time to replay it to get them all back. So we can only look now at the trades that the system did take. The key there is that we've got a bunch of instances where there are trades that I have said I want to take, but I'm not getting in because the market's moving too fast. So we've got some choices we can make there regarding how to enter, all of which you have to make this choice before you start trading. Okay, so you could go in at the market. That would get you in for sure. You won't get as good a price. You'll deal with slippage, and it's not something I'm willing to do. The second thing you could do is change the limit entry offset so that it's not one tick back from the close of the bar, but maybe at the close of the bar, so 0. So instead, right now, when this bar up here closes, this bar here closes, the market is at the time that it closes. In order for the bar to close, we have to trade it down to there. All right, so with the limit entry offset the way it's set, the market has to come back 2 ticks. Now in the NASDAQ, that's not generally a problem, but you can see here we get touched, but we don't get filled, and then the market rolls over nicely. Just a beautiful signal. The other choice is what's called a limit chase order, which will chase after the market within some constraints. And then there is something called a touch limit chase. Now the limit chase order is actually not, because it's a range bar and I'm placing the order at the point where that bar closes. I don't believe limit chase is going to work for us here because you're just always going to chase then, given the way that the order gets placed with the range bar chart. But the touch limit chase is a possibility. Touch limit chase means that if the market touches your price, then it will start this chasing behavior where it'll move the limit order down X number of ticks within some constraints you specify. So I actually think that's going to be needed for the ES, given the fact there's only 4 ticks per point there. So I'll be looking at that shortly anyway, and we'll make a decision if I want to add it to the NASDAQ or not. Because I lost all my codes, we can't talk about the other ones that came up. You can see there was lots of aggressive codes there, so if you're willing to be more aggressive as a trader, then there's more trades to take. At the start here, I'm in sort of a moderately aggressive mode here. Then what we get is I don't have the codes here, so I'm going to have to do it from memory. This is a failed turn long. So the system sees the turning behavior, predicts failure, and you enter short there. And then I end up making just a little bit. There's the exit right there. And then there is another failed turn. So this sees this turning behavior, this 3 bars, and then down and up, and goes, I predict that'll fail. And then what happens is you get in, and the aggressive trail management takes you out. So we end up getting in at 42.25, and then the market trades down and then right back up and takes us out before we get the nice gain. So again, aggressive trail management is keeping me costing me some money here. And then we get what is that? That's a long. Is that right? I can't see the result there. Yeah, that's a long that takes a 10-tick loss. And then, so that is mean. What does that mean? That's that must be predicting that the turn is going to fail. The pullback short's going to fail. That's interesting. Here we get another attempt to turn. This is an attempt to turn higher, where failure is predicted, but we actually end up taking a stop because it's just a hint too soon there. And then let's see here. What don't we get up here? So we can't see it. You'd love to get a signal right there. I can see that turning behavior there, but I don't recall now if I got that prediction or not. Another little pullback right there. I would expect to be getting a prediction at of some kind, whether it's do nothing, get long, or get short. This is a short that scratches, and then a short that takes a 10-tick loss. And then here's a short that makes up for those losses right here, right there. Okay, so we did better here in the chop. So I'm really happy to see that because I worked really hard this weekend. There's another one there. I worked really hard this weekend to try and do a better job both predicting what's going to happen when the market is starting to go sideways, and as well as just kind of helping to stay out of it more. So I end up, like last week, I had a couple cases where I was up nicely and then gave it back and chop. Here, you're losing money in there, but still doing okay. There's some trades in there that are they're good entries, and trail management's getting you, and then there's good entries that are actually hitting targets. Missing this nice sweet signal up there is the painful. And then I think we had one more here. What did we have here? We had a so then there was another short here. Is that right? Boy, it's hard to tell now without the codes. It's interesting how okay, so part of the problem is that my the coloring of the signal is the same as the color of the bar. There's a short right there on that. That looks like a turn short, right? So there's this behavior where it turns and pulls back and then closes down. So that is the machine learning system is predicting success, that the turn's going to succeed. You can see it's either too sideways or the volatility is getting us there. So I end up again scratch on the day. Lots of nice signals that I didn't get in on, so I'll be thinking about that. I want to make a change later on. I won't be doing it now. I'm going to continue to stay with both the trail management that I'm using and the entry method for now. We'll be starting the ES soon in simulation, and so that will probably be a good opportunity to test that touch limit chase order. So we'll do that on that market in sim first, and then we'll see how that works out. Okay, that's it for today. We'll see what tomorrow brings.